Imagine a world where the key to your dream home isn't lost in a maze of market madness, but right in your pocket. This isn't just fantasy, it's the future that we can build. Remember when owning a home was pretty much the American dream? Well, now it's kind of feeling like you're chasing a mirage. Hidden by the mirage is the reality of sky high prices and the ever shrinking chance of actually being able to afford a place to call your own. It's the stuff that keeps you up at night, wondering why this dream, this simple wish for a little spot of the world to be yours, seems to always be just a tad too high, slipping through your fingers just when you think you can grab it. There's this ache for the times when buying a home was a cause for celebration, a journey with clear milestones. Back in the day, aiming for a house meant you were on your way to securing a stable, promising future. It was a goal that felt within reach, or at least tangible. But fast forward to today, and the road to homeownership, well, it's turned into this narrow, uphill battle that's filled with more hurdles than a track meet. And honestly, it feels nearly impossible to win. Families would sit around the kitchen table, mapping out their future with a mix of blueprints and budget sheets, with excitement in the air. But now, that hopeful planning is often replaced by the cold, hard glow of a computer screen, showing numbers that don't seem to add up. And the stats show only 21% of homes were considered affordable in 2022, which is a nosedive from 60% the year before. This isn't just a gap, it's a chasm, and it's growing wider each year, making the dream of homeownership feel like a fantasy for way too many. But this story is not just about the cold, hard data. It's about real people, real dreams fading away. Think about the young couples saving every dime only to realize their hard-earned savings won't cover the down payment. Or families who've passed the dream of owning a home from one generation to the next, now watching it slip away like grains of sand. That shining beacon of the American dream of homeownership? Now it seems more like a flickering light in the distance. A cruel flicker for those who just can't seem to catch up. So here's the million-dollar question that's got everybody scratching their heads. Why are house prices shooting through the roof, but there's still a line of people trying to buy? Here's the thing. The game has changed. It's not just about whether you can afford a home anymore. It's about if you can play the game of low down payments. And saving up for that down payment? It's become like trying to climb Everest in flip-flops. A real test of your willpower. But don't lose heart just yet. There's still a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. For instance, take Zillow's 1% down payment deal. It's like a breath of fresh air, a ray of hope for those of us still clinging to the dream of our own little corner of the world. Maybe, just maybe, owning a home isn't as impossible as it started to look. For those of us holding on to hope, these are more than just initiatives. They're our chance to finally reach out and touch that dream that seemed just a little too far away. It's a nudge reminding us that no matter how tough the climb, the dream of having a place to call your own is still alive. As we watch the scene unfold, we're hit with the vibrant, chaotic beauty of this housing market. On one hand, you've got this electric buzz, homes flying off the market the moment they're listed, which is a clear sign of a thriving scene. But then, there's the flip side, the part that doesn't really make the highlight reel. The sky-high rents and matchbox-sized living spaces that hardly feel like a slice of the dream. It's like looking at a photo that's half in brilliant color and half in shadow. A stark reminder of the tightrope we're all walking on. Peek a little closer into the heart of today's housing market and you'll find yourself in a kind of wonderland. It's unpredictable and full of contradictions. Here, a limited number of homes chase an endless stream of demand, a perfect playground for the cash-rich investors ready to jump in. But within this gold rush, there's a looming question. How long can this wild ride last? And what about the rest of us, the ones just hoping for a key to our own front door? As prices climb, fueled by fierce competition and a dash of speculation, the dream of owning a home starts to look more like a high-stakes game, one where the buy-in keeps getting steeper for regular folks. This market might be a boon for some, but it's also making the hunt for an affordable place to live tougher by the day, leaving us to wonder the real cost of this frenzy and who's really paying the price. Then we shift gears to a scene that's both fascinating and a bit scary. Real estate investment trusts, or REITs, are taking the spotlight, and their numbers climbing as they pull in investment after investment. In the ever-changing realm of real estate, REITs are a force to be reckoned with. They've cracked open the door to the property market, offering a seat at the table to anyone with a bit of cash to spare. But as these trusts rise in fame and fortune, they're also stirring up the waters of housing affordability in ways we didn't quite expect. Sure, they've made it easier for Joe and Jane to get a piece of real estate pie without buying a whole building, but as they snatch up properties left and right, they're also pushing up prices, making it tougher for the average person to afford a home or even a decent rental in a nice area. It's a double-edged sword. REITs are making investment accessible, but they're also adding a new twist to the affordability crisis, layering the challenge of finding a place to call home with fresh obstacles and making our journey towards home ownership or affordable rent, an even more complicated adventure. So here we are, standing at what feels like a major turning point for the housing market. It's like we're on the edge of a cliff, watching as the heat from investors start to cool off, maybe hinting that things might start to level out a bit, especially with all the buzz around houses being a tad too pricey. This change has us at a fork in the road, wondering, what's next for those of us still chasing the homeowning dream? The road ahead looks a bit foggy, with both hurdles and maybe a few golden chances, and as we try to look into the crystal ball, our heads are spinning with questions. What new economic twists and turns could reshape our chances of finding an affordable place? Is there a chance for some smart new financing tricks, or maybe some clever policies, to help close the gap between our dream and the hard reality? The future is not exactly clear, but one thing is for sure. Grabbing hold of the homeownership dream in these changing times means getting creative, ready to tackle the shifting sands of how many houses are up for grabs, who wants them, and the big picture financial vibes. In the toughest times, there's always a silver lining, a chance to shake things up and make them better. It's time for us to come together and shake up the journey to homeownership. Your voice, your energy, and your actions have the power to make a real difference. To turn the dream of owning a home from a maybe someday into a yes, we can. Now more than ever, we need to join hands and carve out a new path, one that welcomes everyone and lasts sustainably. Sure, it's going to be a bit of a trek, but together, we've got what it takes to make waves that will be felt for generations. As we step forward together, let's draw some strength from the tales of tough cookies, clever minds, and communities coming together that have always been the backbone of our economy. Hit that subscribe button to be a part of a movement driven by knowledge, guts, and a collective aim to turn what we dream about into what we live. Going through the maze of financial choices doesn't have to be a solo trip. Together, we can light up the road ahead, making those big goals seem a little less daunting. Let's bridge the gaps that hold us back, piecing together a future where owning a home and reaching for wider economic stability and growth is in reach for everyone.